Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै वधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Together. Kataksha Kirana Chantanaman Mohabhaye Namaha Ananta Nanda Krishnaya Jagan Mangalamurtaye Ahamasmi Sada Bhami Kada Chinnahamapriyaha Brahmaivahamata Siddham Satchidanandalakshanam Mayye Vodeti Chivyomni Jagadgandharvapattanam Adoham Nakatham Brahma Sarvajñam Sarvakaranam Nasvatah Pratyabhijnanam Neram Shatvan Nachanyah न चाश्रय विनाशान् मे विनाशस्यादनाश्रया न शोषप्लोष विक्लेदः. It's like having marbles in the mouth. न शोषप्लोष विक्लेदः छेदाश्चिन्नभसो मम Be careful. The first one is Mahaprana. Chedaha. Breathe on it. Okay. And the second one is not Mahaprana. It is Chit. Okay. Chedaश्चिन्नभसो mama. Yeah, sounding very nice. Everybody is sounding like a pandit. Yeah. Satyairapyanilagnyambah. The praise went to the head. Sudden collapse. Okay. Satyairapi Anilagnyambah. Satyairapyanilagnyambah. One more time. Satyairapyanilagnyambah. Mutakalpitaihi. Have you by heart this by the time you go home? You'll be chanting it in your sleep. That's why it's a contemplative text. You'll be hearing it, you'll be snoring it. Yeah. So, Mayye Vodeti Chidvyomni, we have finished that. Third verse. In me rises the whole Jagat. And if you start talking like that with your friends, they will back off slowly. Okay? Yeah. In me rises the whole universe. Yes. Okay. Slowly, but certainly they will back off. Okay? And wherever you go, your reputation, as harmless but totally gone, will precede you. So therefore, it's very, very important to know the order of reality which is being talked about here. And when you claim that order of reality, you will not need to state it in polite company. Okay. You will be able to just deal with people as they are while knowing and being established in this reality, not needing to show off anything. So this is an internal dialogue for us to understand that I, this consciousness, I, Atma, is the one that is lending its presence to the entire universe of names and forms. So therefore, in me, which is this non-separate, which is in fact the essence of me, is not the body, mind, sense complex, but this consciousness in me, which is this consciousness, Chid Vyomni, space-like consciousness. Why is it space-like? Because it is all-pervasive. In me, the all-pervasive space-like consciousness, the universe does its thing. What does it do? Rises. And then what does it do? Stays around, born, is, gone. That's the meaning of the word Jagat. Jayate Kachati iti Jagat. Born, gone. That's the meaning of the Jagat that everyone takes so seriously. And then, so therefore, I am Brahman. Because what does Brahman, Ishvara, do? Ishvara also projects the universe, sustains the universe, and resolves the universe. So I am Ishvara-esque in this understanding of myself as this all-pervasive consciousness. Now, having set up the 3 verses, the first one was, of course, the prayer, Mangalacharanam, which sets a beautiful tone about the non-separateness of Guru and God as far as this knowledge is concerned and all these things. And it talks about the pedagogy of the removal of ignorance in the form of the Akhandakara Vritti, in the form of the warm, compassionate, knowledge-filled ray of the glance of the teacher slash Ishvara, which dries up the ocean of samsara. That was the first verse. Then the next 2 verses, very important because they, what is that? They set up the definition of Brahman from the standpoint of itself, Swarupa Lakshana, the intrinsic definition of Brahman, Ishvara, and the incidental definition of Brahman as the creator or the manifester of the Jagat. Then it's not just the incidental definition of Brahman, it is I as Brahman. So it's my definition also. And then now it is established that I am existent. I am an existent reality. And then verses 4 and 5 take up the important question of the nature of existence. What is the nature of this existence? This is important to discuss because all the word existence in our heads is vitiated by impermanence. For us, when we say eternal, that means that which hangs around in time for a long time. Like a skin disease. Yeah, very difficult to get rid of. Chronic issues. That's what we say, eternal. Eternally, my joints are aching. Eternally, it is difficult to stay awake. Eternally, so this is our eternity. Very much within the rubric and the confines of the time-space matrix. That has to be exorcised. And so what is the nature of this existence? The nature of this existence is such that it does not undergo any change, one, and it does not undergo any destruction, two. This has to be understood. And this is advanced in a very unique way in the 4th and the 5th verses. The 4th verse says that talks about the three sources of destruction. What are the three sources of destruction? Something self-destructs. It just deteriorates, self-destructs. Meaning in time. Time, of course, is there. Lord Yama is always hanging around. When you talk of self-destruction, he says, it's me. So, time is there. Kala. Kala is Ishvara. That is why we have Kala Hasti. We shrine there. Kala is worshipped as Bhagavan. So, Bhagavan in the form of Kala is in time. So, this is called Nirnimitta Nasha. The Nasha means destruction. What kind of Nasha? Nirnimitta Nasha. Nasha without any particular cause. You can't see the cause. Even sometimes, a elderly person is like that. The trajectory of the elderly person, you see, okay, you do all the tests, everything is fine. Still, there is a certain deterioration. So, this is called, he calls it Swatanasha, Swatonasha, meaning by oneself, self-destruction, by itself for no particular reason. Then there is an outside force external to this entity that is acting upon the entity and eroding it and causing its destruction. Like what? Like, for example, something is waterlogged, a piece of wood. You put it in water. First, it becomes pretty. It becomes driftwood. And then you collect that and make furniture. Very costly furniture. But then, if you leave the driftwood to keep on drifting, then what will happen? It will become waterlogged and it will be subject to water damage. Sometimes even the walls are subject to water damage. It's called mildew, mold, things like that. So that is one, so the water, in this case, humidity, is acting upon another agent, here wall or wood or whatever it is, and then it is actively destroying it. This is called anyataha, from another source. Anyataha, the tasil, the taha is usually used in the fifth case, panchamyas tasil. So this fifth case, taha. So that is the hetu here. So anyataha nashaha means something else is acting upon this entity and causing it to crumble, get destroyed. And then the third source of nasha, destruction, is when the cause is destroyed, then what happens to the effect? Naturally, because the effect depends upon. Thank you. Effect depends upon cause. Cause does not depend upon effect. So the effect is living off the cause. Like even the fabric is the cause of what? Your shirt. So if you just say, you know what, the shirt is intact, but the fabric is destroyed. One will be wearing emperor's clothes. Yeah. So if the fabric is destroyed, is the shirt intact? No. And you can take it even further. If the yarn is destroyed, the yarn is the cause of the fabric. If the yarn is destroyed, is the fabric intact? No. It's threadbare. Only good for making modern day jeans. That's all. More holes than jeans, holy jeans. That's all. So the yarn is made up of fibers. If the fibers are destroyed, can you have yarn? No. If we say yes, we'll be spinning our own yarn. That's what it is. So you can't have yarn. And then fibers are made up of molecules. And if for some reason we can physically manipulate the molecules to not be in this particular configuration, then there will not be any fibers. So like this, when the cause is destroyed, the effect, which is a parasitical entity, siphoning off its existence of the cause, also naturally gets destroyed without actually targeting the effect. So this is called Ashraya Nasha. Ashraya means upon that which it depends. And what is that here? Cause. Gold is destroyed. Let's say, I mean, it's not possible to destroy gold because it's a tattva, bhu tattva, but still, let us say we found some way to destroy gold. Can you have ornaments made of gold? No. Let's say we found a way to destroy clay. No pot can exist. So, this is what is said in the fourth verse. The fourth verse talks about these kinds of destruction. And at length. And then we'll say, which one applies to the Atma? What's the answer? None of that. Trick question. None of them apply to the Atma because we are saying it is beyond Nasha. Beyond time means beyond Nasha, cannot be destroyed. That which is in time is subject to destruction, and that which is not bound by time is obviously not subject to destruction. And the only thing that is not bound by time is you. So you are not subject to destruction whatsoever. Despite everything that is saggy, baggy, that is connected to the body. Despite everything that is foggy, that is connected to the mind. Saggy, baggy, foggy. Yes. It's connected to the body, the mind, or the senses. And so it's not you. This has to be understood properly. So the three forms of destruction that we have seen here just now are denied, negated for the Atma. So let us look at the first one, self-destruction. Can Atma, I, undergo self-destruction? Everybody is very clear. No, no, no. Why not? The answer is given in the fifth case. Pratyabhijnanat. Pratyabhijna means many, many things. And in fact, it's even a Buddhist term that has separate meanings. But here for us, we just take the simple meaning due to memory. Even bad memory is enough for us to show the continuity. Memory. This is completely antithetical to a particular ancient Buddhist sect or philosophy of this particular sect called Kshanika Vijnana Vada. Kshanika, momentary, Vijnana, cognition, Vada, philosophy. The philosophy of momentary awareness. So this particular philosophy posited, even now it may be there, I don't know, but definitely an ancient form of Buddhism. And so this particular philosophy posited that you are ever fresh, ever new. And what is this you? It's a series of flickers of consciousness. Flicker, 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 flicker. Hello. Hello. Hi. Good morning. Yeah. Series of flickering consciousnesses. Yeah. to us who have been studying Vedanta, this seems just impossible. How is this even possible? How can you say that with a straight face? But let's look at them before we make fun of them. Yeah, make fun of them. So, this flicker theory says that, you see, because the thing is, it's all there. See, if you already have a conclusion, then you have to have a philosophy that that justifies the conclusion, is it not? Yeah. Then you have the pressure to justify the conclusion. And what is the conclusion? Shunya. That's the conclusion. Shunya. There is nothing. The truth of you is zero, nothing. And so therefore what? There cannot be anything that is continuous. If there is continuity, means there is something. Something that is undeniable in the form of I. They don't want to deal with that. It's like Groundhog Day, that kind of a thing. No memory of anything that happened. So there is a flicker. In a way, it sounds good. Like all the samsara can have cessation right now. So let's say in the last moment, somebody said something that disturbed this person greatly. That moment is gone. Next moment, what? Hello, all love, all compassion. Even without Vedanta, one can be enlightened. In a way, it solves a lot of problems. Jealousy will not be there. Resentment will not be there. The feeling of I know I exist, but why do you exist will not be there. In one fell swoop, we just put an end to every single thing. And not add, but there are some problems. It doesn't go contrary to Vedanta, forget that. Then that could just be another contention. It goes contrary to our own experience. Your own experience. Let's say the CEO of the company went to sleep and the beggar woke up. Yeah. Somebody else woke up. How is that possible? When you wake up, you remember all the things that happened before you went to sleep. The memory which was in suspension during sleep, because the Sukshma Sharira withdrew, the subtle body withdrew, and did not participate in broadcasting this awareness as I. So that's why you say I slept like a rock, because you were a rock in sleep. You were as good as a rock. And so that memory was just kept in suspension. Why? Because the Atma was still there, is still there. Atma means consciousness. That consciousness doesn't go to sleep. You go to sleep. Consciousness is the seer without eyelids. Anuptadrik. Pujya Swamiji used to demonstrate it like this. Seer without eyelids. Meaning what? The consciousness cannot even afford to blink. Blink means in a blink, so many things are gone, including your pocketbook sometimes. So, can't afford to blink even. So the non-sleeping seer, Atma I, is there, watching over the sleep as it were. You can rest nicely because Atma is awake, alive to even the reality of you out in sleep. So therefore, when you awaken, what happens? When you awaken, all that continuity is intact. Your house is still there. Your spouse not yet gone. And then maybe you thought if you just slept, everything will be okay. Don't have to deal with this. Still there. Credit card debt, still there. The people you don't care about too much, still there. All the problems that went to sleep with you, they're all demanding coffee. They have all woken up, still there. Self-loath, still there. Self-criticism, still there. Discontentment, still there. Apathy, still there. Hopelessness. Everything is still there. What does that mean? You continue. You did not cease to exist. This existence continues. Memory is still there. That's why what happened 50 years ago can be recalled. 40 years ago can be recalled in great detail, much to the chagrin of aging parents. Yeah. I know what you did. You dropped me down the flight of stairs when I was small. Boing, 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 crash. Scarred for life I am. Who is saying? The Atma, without a scar. No skara, no samskara. This is Atma. Still there. And this usually happens only in India. Past life memories, still there. The 4-year-old in Rajasthan, in a small village, wakes up from his nap and says, I want pakodas. This is documented. And the mother was very happy. Oh, of course, I'll make you pakodas. Some kind of fried caloric fritters. Okay. Yeah, pakodas. So I'll make you pakodas, no problem. She's so happy. The son asked for something. Mom, you're not a good cook. He says, I don't like your pakodas. Oh, she's kind of downcast. What happened? No, but I love pakodas. You don't know how to make them. Then who knows how to make them? My wife. She is the best. The best pakodas come from her kitchen. She thought, let me just go along with this. And, the mother was kind of scared. Where is this going? What is this? First, she thought it's a joke. But he was serious. Why? You don't know my house? You don't know my wife? She lives in this particular village. She was able to point it out. Then in consultation with the father, they decided to pay a visit there. Just to see what happens, just to see if this is actually true. And he was able to point to the street. He was able to point to the house. And there were 3 grown men there. He was able to greet them as his sons. And he embraced an old lady saying, oh, beloved, give me some pakodas. And he knew intimate details about the house, where the money is kept, which only somebody who had lived there could know. Long story short, pakodas were made, enjoyed. The mother took the recipe and both the families decided never to meet again mutually. It's very disturbing for both of them and for the child also. Now there is some university, I don't know, in Europe is doing a documented research of these past life memories. And not just in India, they take place all over the world, but many examples are there in India. Because you see, it is permitted. So if there is a kind of a permission, then the recollection is not stifled. That's the only reason. It's not that only past life things exist in India. Don't go with that. In India, there is a permission given to believe in reincarnation. Since that permission is there, the memories are not suppressed. So then there is the continuity. That little boy and others like him are able to say, I was that, now I am this. And so that means what? There is no self-destruction. But what is the connection between memory and non-self-destruction? Because the memory shows the memory is upalakshana for continuity. The memory is the manifestation of that continuity which is described here. So the self cannot self-destruct it because it is continuously there without a break. And that continuity I can experience in the form of memory. I can document in the form of memory. I can write my own sad autobiography in the form of memory. Such an ingenious way to not to deny self-destruction. It's just amazing. What a lovely thing. Absolutely brilliant. No self-destruction because of memory. That's the translation, but we have to remember the connection. There is no other way of explaining and unfolding the indestructible self, the I, without taking recourse to memory, because you have to prove something that is there continually as I. So the 2-year-old memory is reclaimed as I, even at 92. Past life memory can be reclaimed in this life. Even if there are the memory of heaven, having taken a selfie with Indra, king of click. Memory, the continuity, the memory reinforces the argument, not even an argument, an established fact. The memory is the argument which reinforces and makes it very, very experientially, palpably clear that I do not ever come to an end. Neither in sleep nor between births. I am always there. It is impossible for me to self-destruct because I'm always there. And that always is the help with the logic called memory. Shruti, Anukula, Yukti. This logic is not like the Nayayika's logic, the logician's logic, which is really illogical. But here, this logic is going along with the unfoldment of the text. So therefore, it is permitted. So that nasha, that source of destruction by oneself is gone. And what's the next one? Yeah, something else. What does the text say? Nasvatah pratyabhijnanat niramshatvat. Anything in fifth case is the hetu. Niramshatvam, niramshatvat, fifth case. Because of niramshatva, amshatva, having parts. The condition of having parts, abstract noun, is called amshatva, partedness, partness. You can't say it in English. Niramshatva then means partlessness. So, niramshatva means partlessness. So, anything that's a composite can fall apart through other means of destruction. Whatever is put together falls apart. If not now, later on, but falls apart. Simply because it is put together. And there are various parts. and each part is separate from the other part. And how are the parts connected? Let's say there is glue or goo, whatever connects those parts. That glue, which connects the parts, subject to the 5 elements. Anyataha means it's upalakshana for 5 elements, because even though you say there's, I cut something with a knife, knife corresponds to the air element. So like that, there is so many correspondences. It correlates with various elements. No, knife means what? Metal, earth maybe, earth element. So like this, anything that is put together is gone. Breaks. Breaks the heart sometimes, but breaks. What about the body? Put together. Put together. Various things are there. Tanmatras are there. And 5 elements in various forms are there. Put together. And then therefore, saggy, baggy, foggy. Yeah. Present continuous. Sagging, bagging, fogging. So this is the body. Mind put together. Falls apart. What? What? Ever fresh. Senses put together. Falls apart. Keep on having to go to eye doctor, ear doctor. Senses are falling apart. So, the I, which is the indweller of this body, mind, sense complex, saggy, baggy, foggy, body, mind, sense complex, is not subject to falling apart. This is the idea. Is not at all subject to falling apart. Why? Because it is not put together. Very interesting argument. That which has parts departs. That which has no parts is here always. But then when we look at the universe, everything has parts. Even the 5 elements are made up of parts. This is what is called Panchikaranam. The 5 elements that you can objectify and interact with, like for example, if you take air, only one part is, air. Half of it is air, and the other half is 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4 of other 4 elements. Study the Tattva Bodha if you want details. So, even that is put together. Everything is put together. Whatever we objectify is put together. So the concept of something not put together is not there at all. It's not there to show. There is no show and tell here. We have to take it first on Shraddha. Trust, pending, understanding. And then after that, you have to see it as the truth of oneself. There is no proof that you are not put together. There is no proof. Shruti. Shrutireva Pramana. The Shruti itself is the proof. There is no proof, meaning there is no outside proof other than the Shruti. The Shruti tells that you are not made up of parts. So that we have to first take, because I want that to be true. I want to not come to an end. I have to have this because I want it to not come to an end, and therefore I'm going to take it as face value. I'm going to give it the benefit of doubt because I have Shraddha for the source of the teaching. And then, after marinating in the teaching, I absorb it as the truth of myself. We can also help ourselves in another way. Ishvara doesn't fall apart. God doesn't fall apart. Because if we had a God that fell apart, oh my God. Yeah. That's all there is to say. OMG, good old OMG. In fact, in South India, we know this. So therefore, the sthapati, what is that called? Sthapati? Translate sculptor, not sculpture, sculptor. Sculptor is very, very careful about the stone. Choosing the stone is a huge deal. So they will go and they have various instruments and they will listen. They can even tell if there is water content in the stone is too much. Then it is not allowed to make a murti out of it. Because we can't have Bhagavan falling apart. Very sad it is. And then certain stones are not used at all. And then after the stone passes muster, then it is carved. Then it is put through certain tests. You throw it in a body of water, Jalavasa, for 48 days. Because if something has to happen, it will happen in 48 days. Is it subject to water damage? No, it came out all right. Oh, good. Fantastic. There is a ceremony to put it in water, and there is a ceremony to take it out. Jalavasa. Then Dhanyavasa. Then it is put in some grains, because the grains are subject to humidity, especially in tropical climates. If you leave rice in a tin, then you are greeted with some guests. Atithi, one who did not give a date. Small black guests, white guests, creepy crawly, and sometimes flying guests. Think of the example of the mango, yeah. They are called Shvetaja. They are humidity born. That's why we say Bhagavan is in the rice, etc. So in this unhusked grains, it is covered and kept so that any kind of an action, a festering action, if that stone is subject to that, then also it can be rejected. Then after all these tests, then only it is consecrated. Then you put it to bed for 3 days, Shayyavasa. Then you consecrate it as the deity, and then you do prana pratishtha. You invoke the whole in this particular deity, so that you're not worshipping a graven image. You're not worshipping the stone. You're worshipping Bhagavan. That's what you're doing. And that's why in South India, we never use marble. Marble is subject to fire, burns. So in South India, marble statues, no. So we don't want Bhagavan to fall apart in front of our eyes, even if there is a fire. That should be the only thing left standing. Okay. So this is another way to assimilate it. Even if you cannot right now claim that I don't fall apart, even if you cannot go there, can you at least understand that Bhagavan doesn't fall apart? Even in our South Indian temples? Yes. Yes, I can wrap my mind around that. Good, we are there now. We are almost there. We are on the way to assimilating this. If Bhagavan doesn't fall apart, that means what? I am non-separate from Bhagavan. I also don't fall apart. But for the time being, this is something to work on. Work on assimilating. It will happen with more and more Shravanam. It has to happen. Anyataha niramshatvat na. And then you have to add nashaha, which is in the second line. Everywhere you have to add. Na nashaha Swataha pratyabhijnanat. The reasoning is given right there. Na nashaha anyataha niramshatvat. Nacha ashraya vinashat. Me. For me. Mama. Or even you can say mahyam. For me. For me. There is no ashraya vinasha. The cause is not there. What is the cause of consciousness? I is equal to consciousness. As far as our Lakshmidhara Kavi, the author goes. What is the cause of I? What is the cause of consciousness? There is no cause. This is again difficult to wrap the head around. I think I am because. Because of so many factors, because of karma, I have this body, because of prarabdha, because of parents, I have this body, because of grandparents, I have this body. But here we are not talking of the body. Here you're not talking of what you have inherited from locally from the parents and grandparents. We are talking of the indweller of this body, mind, sense complex, which is without cause. But why do you say that? Why can't consciousness have a cause? Just because. Consciousness cannot have a cause. How will you say, how will you wrap your head around this? If consciousness had a cause, then we'll have to say that must be another consciousness, which is aware of this consciousness. This awareness, if it had a cause, then what do we have to say? Another awareness is there that is looking at this consciousness. Then what is the cause of that consciousness? Another awareness that's looking at that consciousness, which is looking at this consciousness. Then after that, we have to say yet one more awareness that is looking at that consciousness, that is looking at this consciousness, that is looking at this consciousness. Then very soon we go crazy slightly. It's like a dog chasing its own tail, it's infinite regression. What's the point of going there? No point. Causeless, as though cause for everything else, itself without cause. You see, if you say consciousness has a cause, then that means what? It is born. It was not there before. Then the cause gave birth to this consciousness. If it is born, it is subject to what? Death. It becomes finite. If the consciousness had a cause, then it would become finite like every other thing that has a cause. So everything has a cause. Consciousness is just because. Yes. No cause. Why just consciousness? In India, we have a saying, Rishimulam Nadimulam na vijaniyat, na vicharayet. Do not inquire into the source of the rishis. Everybody has a gotra. Gotra means a clan. And you trace it to the head of that clan, who was an ancient rishi. Bharadwaja, Kashyapa, like this. Jamadagni, little fiery rishi. Yeah. And they say even today, the people who belong to the Jamadagni Gotra, ooh. Little fiery nature. Quick to, very harmless, but quick to temper. That's what they say. We don't know. If you know, the genes have come from thousands of years, we don't know. But I have heard when elders, you know, do this, whatever these marriage things. What Kotra? Jamadagni. Any other choices? So, like this, you go up to the Rishi, then you don't say, where did Bharadwaja come from? Because the answer will not be nice. Monkey, yeah. You already have a Rishi, which is the shining light of this particular kinship network to which you belong, then don't go further. And similarly, don't say, where does the Ganga come from? Even though we have a place called Gangotri, that is just a, what should I say? It's a collectively participated, it's a lie in which everyone collectively participates. It's not really the source. The source of the river you cannot see, it's a glacier. And that to which part of the glacier is coming as the river you cannot see. So even local things, we don't go too deep into trying to find out the cause. What to talk of the indweller of this body, mind, sense complex, we have to take it that there is no cause. And this, why should I take it as there is no cause? If you say, then I will say, because your happiness depends upon it. It's right. Then there is no argument. Your happiness depends upon it. Your sanity depends upon you not having a cause. Causeless. So, nacha ashraya vinasha. So, when the cause is destroyed, the effect gets destroyed. When the fabric is destroyed, the shirt is in tatters, that is not there for me. Because I am not located in anything. I cannot be located in anything. I'm not located in anything. I have no location. Therefore, I am free of all three forms of destruction. You see, notice an elevation in the mood immediately once this has been assimilated. Thank God. Then the fifth verse describes in detail the sources of destruction, which is basically the 5 elements. But as with this author, everything is with a slight twist. And the twist is here an ingenious twist. So what are the sources of destruction? Shosha, dehydration. Shosha. Plosha, from plush, not plush, okay, yeah, that is English word. Sanskrit dhatu, plush dhatu, to wet. Shosha, air element, that which dries out. Plosha, water element, that which wets. Vikleda. Kleda is the, what is that? Cutting up, earth element. So like this, all the action of the elements are described, but first they are negated. Na. Nashosha, plosha, vikledaha. Kleda is to wet, I think. Yeah, kleda is to wet. Plosha, I think it's also some kind. Huh? Burning, yes. Yeah. Fire. Kleda is to wet, plush to burn. Dahane. So, Nashosha, Naplosha, and then Navikleda. No burning, no drying, no wetting. So the 3 elements, which are famous destroyers of everything in the world, are taken up here. And then Cheda, cutting up, earth element. The 4 elements are talked about. Why not space? Yeah, it accommodates, it doesn't destroy anything, it accommodates all. So very harmless element. Remains in its own space. That's why it's called space. And it accommodates everything. Destroys nothing. Why? Sukshmatvat. It can only be objectified by one sense organ, which is sound, ears. So therefore, it is difficult to objectify, and therefore it is not capable of destroying anything else. So the 4 elements are the culprits here. They are the destroyers of the universe. In fact, they are the building blocks of the universe, and they are the destroyers of the universe because the universe has the seeds of its own destruction already planned by Bhagavan. Somehow it has to be taken back. So the same element that gave rise to the universe is also self-destructing and destroying one another. But what about the I? The I is not subject to Shosha, Plosha, Vikleda, Cheda. Why? Chit Nabhasaha Mama. Mama, for me. Who is this for me? Who is in the form of space-like consciousness. Nabhas means space. Nabhasaha, sixth case. To go along with Mama, also sixth case. Chit Nabhasaha, Chin Nabhasaha, Mama. For me, who is space-like consciousness, meaning it is not, it is all-pervasive awareness that is not subject to destruction, that was already seen in the fourth verse. So for me, which has no location and which is all-pervasive consciousness like space, and there's another reason why there is the likening to space. We'll see that in the second line, but this much you understand. So like space, I am also indestructible. Why? Why are you like space? And why are you indestructible? The hetu is given, the reason is given in the second line. And what is the second line? Satyaihi api. Here Satya is there. Here Satya doesn't mean Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Satya is here an expression that even if it, a hypothetical expression, even if they were real. Who are they? Satyaihi api. Even if they were to be real. Not mithya. Even if they were satyam. Who are they? What are they? Anila, air, Agni, Ambaha, water. Satyaihi api, even if these elements, air, water, earth also we can take, it's not mentioned here, but air, water, earth, fire, etc., even if they were to be true, truly said to be existent, can they destroy space? What a beautiful twist here. Even relatively speaking, on the Vyavaharika Satta, from the standpoint of the empirical reality, you take a sword, Chedana, an agent of cutting up, and you say, I'm cutting up space. Good luck. No, I'll burn space. You must be spaced out to think like that. I will wet space by throwing some water on space. No? I will dehydrate space. I'll dry out space. Space is not subject to that. Why? Because space has no attributes. That's important here. That which has attributes, you can burn those attributes, you can kill those attributes in different ways. Like air, water, fire becomes the agent of destruction of various attributes. So the four elements, even empirically speaking, cannot destroy the fifth one, space, because it is free of all attributes, it's all pervasive. If space was located in some place, then air, fire, water, earth can corner it. But it is, in fact, all these five elements are as though located in space. They have no say over destroying even one more element. What to talk of me, the space-like consciousness. Beautiful. More we'll see in half an hour. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. So, can we do it in the, are you coming in the evening?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Can I see you now?
Yes. Okay. Tell me now. Tell. All right. Tell me. No, you can just ask the question. Ask the question.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, it's a past memory thing.
Past
And
memory.
so I have a memory, and I can bring those back,
Yes.
and I have.
Yes.
So I know these.
Yes.
And they're more real than real. However, how, so within consciousness, I'm creating, these memories are me interacting with the Jagat. And
Okay.
they may have importance because of how they affect my progress. My progress towards this understanding of consciousness. But
How does?
so these memories are connected with a
Continuity.
a time and
Continuity.
location,
Yes.
and yet they so within consciousness, there is no time, there is no
Yes, but the
location.
memory is just an example to assimilate the continuity.
And yet it continues.
Memory is time bound.
It may be time bound, but if I am reborn
Yes.
and I have these memories of
Yes.
past,
But still it is in time. Let's say you are reborn and then you have, you remember being a king in 1764. It is still time bound. Yeah. So the continuity is just an example to assimilate the non-destructibility of consciousness. The memories, as you said correctly, as you implied, are unfolding in consciousness. But we are trying to look at experientially of how we can assimilate continuity, not being subject to time.
and so within this consciousness are also the resolution of all of this
Yes,
back to consciousness.
absolutely. Yes,
Okay. That's
you got it. That's how it works.